Just taking a closer look at your sharing options. Once the Padlet has been put together, once you want to share it with people, under the Share tab, I can go in and again, I can add members. So if I type in a colleague that I've already added in the past, so Richard Fall, I've added in, he now has access to the Padlet and I can decide if he can read, if he can write, if he can edit, if he can administer. So those are my layers of bureaucracy. I'm going to say he can write, which means he can add and view posts. He can't edit the posts, he can't delete the Padlet. So that's quite a useful thing. I'm actually going to cancel that. That was just to show you how it works. Generally speaking, we're looking at our privacy settings rather than adding members because we want to have a decent amount of control over our Padlet. So being able to just send the link out and anyone with the link can click on it and add is a really good pipeline. So to set it up in that way, if you hit the Change Privacy button and put it on the Secret option, that means that the Padlet is hidden from the public. If I choose to share it with somebody, they will be able to access it. So that's a nice way of setting it up. And then again, I have my visitor permissions down here so they can write, they can read, they can edit. Depending on what you want people to do, generally speaking, the can write is what you want most users to be able to do. So that's my privacy settings again. But here we have our sharing settings. Now, at its most basic, I can simply copy the URL up here and paste it into an email, paste it onto a document, paste it into Blackboard, whatever way you want to share the information. But there are a couple of other options. So I can copy link to clipboard and that will just take that link and copy it for me. Or I can get a QR code. If you're in the staff training session with me, you will have had the opportunity to see how that works. All I've done is downloaded the QR code, saved it to the desktop, saved it to somewhere on the machine, and then put it into a document, put it into a Word document, whatever it was that I was wanting to do. You can embed in your blog or your website. So I can actually click on this and I can copy this embed code. Now you can put a Padlet directly into Blackboard, and I have done this and it works really well. Or you can put it into something like Weebly. But a word of caution, if you're using an embed code and you're embedding a Padlet into another platform, it will cut things off that may make people vulnerable or expose people, and that would be your camera and your audio recording. So it's easier and better and more agile to simply put a link and let people click in a website or in Blackboard out of the website into Padlet, and then you have all the functionality of the Padlet. Bringing it into Blackboard also has some options because it comes in quite small and people need to know where the expand button is to make it full page, and it can just take vital minutes away from your class. You're going around showing people how to expand their posts. So I would say have a little play around with that, but it's less useful than you'd think. Add to your learning management system as an external tool. We don't have a Padlet tool in Blackboard, so that's not something we can do at the moment. But again, it doesn't matter. You can just put the link in there and that will work just as well. That will just call up Outlook. So if you click on the email button, it will call Outlook with the link already in the message. And share on Google Classroom. If you use Google Classroom, that's a pipeline that you can use. I'm going to move down to the export settings really briefly. It's really nice to have a record of a Padlet that doesn't have all the functionality of the Padlet. When you get really confident and you're generating lots and lots of Padlets, it's useful to know that you can just dump a Padlet, delete it, get rid of it or archive it, because you've actually saved it as a PDF, you've saved it as an image, saved it, various different options here. So I'm just going to say save as an image. So it takes a second. It's actually telling me that it would be ready in about 15 seconds. And there we go. So I've got an image of my Padlet, but you can see that I've lost the posts that have got off the page. So that's essentially Padlet taking a screen grab. So it's not as useful as saving it as a PDF, because saving it as a PDF will save the entire Padlet. So I'm going to say I'd like it as a portrait letter A4, portrait A4 publish PDF. And it again will take a few seconds. And when it is done, much better format. If I had lots and lots and lots of posts, all those posts are captured, and it puts it in a nice kind of magazine style. This is the other reason why I like to use the shelf template, because the shelf template, when you print a PDF or you create a PDF, just makes everything very clear, and it lays it out really nicely. So that's a PDF now that can be sent out to students. It can be put on Blackboard, whatever you want to do.